Hello, all my chickadees. Welcome back. Today, we're going to be continuing You and Him. Chapter 2 dropped not too long ago, and it's time to dive in and see what happens next. Oh my goodness. I really love this game, and I'm excited to see where it goes from here. But first off, we have to cover the content warning. This game contains sexual content, eye strain, slight torture, graphic violence, mild screen shakes, death. This game is intended for 18 plus audiences only. Okay, that's the warning. If any of that bothers you or you may be a little young, please click away. I want you guys to be safe. And we're going to jump on in and continue the story here. Fluorescent red. Do, 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 do. Fluorescent Red Studios presents You and Him. I still love that. Chapter 2 Saffron. That is Adam's manager, I think. The white hair guy? Briar's Bar and Grill earlier. Yep, there he is. Saffron taps his fingers along the edge of the steering wheel as he watches you disappear into the bar, your body illuminated by lightning as it pulsed through the sky. Idly, he brings his thumb to his mouth and licks. He can still taste your blood from earlier today, fresh and sweet, like cotton candy. A sharp contrast to your guarded personality. He marvels at how much a person's taste can differ from how they present themselves to the world. Those who act soft and sweet often have a rancid aftertaste, or those who parade around with vibrant personalities often end up being bland in flavor. How many people have you drunk the blood of to come to this conclusion? I have questions. But you. He winces as his teeth accidentally tears through skin and he draws his thumb away from his mouth, studying the pearl of blood forming at his open wound. Ah. He got carried away again. He licks it away with a quick swipe of his tongue, trying to ignore the vomit-inducing taste. Oh, he don't like the taste of his own blood. His own blood is horrible, apparently. Enough of this longing. Soon he'll have vials of your blood to mix with his liquor, plenty to drink and savor for years to come if he preserves them long enough. Not to mention the delicious meat he'll pair it with. He's a straight-up cannibal! Oh my god! He just needs to remain patient. Saffron busies himself by looking at his phone and going over Cake's schedule. He's shuffled around a lot due to Adam's unforeseen injury, which leaves most of their week open. Perfect, considering the amount of cleanup this will take. Adam informed you of your aunt being a probable casualty, but since she's such a recluse, it's unlikely anyone will notice her missing for quite some time. They can make a few payments here and there, bribes here and bribes there in order to keep suspicion off them. Still, it would have been so much easier had Adam done what he set off to do earlier. Everything was planned accordingly, not a flaw in place. So what happened out there that allowed you to escape? Yesterday evening, Dower Hotel. Alright. We just on a Saffron journey today. Let's see what this boy was up to. Saffron steps inside the hotel's elevator and presses a button for the main floor, adjusting the cuffs of his button-down shirt and waits for the door to close. Damn. No matter how many times he gets his clothes tailored, they never seem to fit just right. It's not like he's hit a growth spurt. He's far beyond his prepubescent years, where changing height and lengthening limbs were a problem. No, it's another matter entirely. Saffron sighs and forced himself to stop fiddling with his attire, accepting defeat yet again when a young man with a short-cropped hair joins him. He smells faintly of lavender and honeysuckle. Yesterday it was rosemary and mint. He glances at the man's hands, slight hints of dirt caked underneath the cuticles, nails cut to the quick. Saffron smiles as his finger hovers above the elevator button. Floor. The man offers up a quiet, subdued smile of his own, mouse-like in nature. Lobby, please. Oh, it's a gardener! Okay. Same as me, then, he says and hit the button. That in itself is a lie. He has nowhere to go. At least not until he's to retrieve Adam and help dispose of the body. No, he's here for him. The cute and timid gardener boy who stares at the ground wherever he goes. Even on his way to the little florist shop that he works at a few blocks down. Saffron bought a bouquet of meaningless daffodils in order to engage in even a slight conversation with the young man. Oh, well, Adam's out there hunting for us. Saffron's out there hunting, for this gardener boy. Oh no. Poor little thing. And what did he discover underneath the demure, soft-spoken act that was an inquisitive mind? One that Saffron was ravenous to get to know on a deeper level. Do you mean deeper level as in engage him in conversation and find out more about him and what he thinks? Or deeper level as in eat his brains? Saffron turns towards a young man, about to engage in polite conversation when his cell phone begins to ring, classical music flooding the small space. He smiles at the young man. Please excuse me. The young man holds up his hands, and Saffron catches the sight of a band-aid wrapped around his thumb. Oh no, you're fine. Don't mind me. So considerate. Saffron has to dig his nails into his phone to keep his composure. Patience, Saffron. You'll scare him off. He's made that mistake many times before. Acting overeager and asking them to dine with him only for them to stand him up. But he's learned and adapted. Soon he'll have this man on a silver platter. He'll make sure of it. Saffron answers the call with a firm, hello. There's heavy breathing on the other end, followed by a curse and a grunt. Fuck. Saffron frowns, worry zipping through him in an instant, but he forces himself to remain composed. Playing the part of a concerned parent will only serve to aggravate Adam. What happened? Adam hisses through his teeth, and Saffron hears the sounds of heavy footsteps. They got away. Saffron blanches until the words register. They what? Did he hear him right? But no one's escaped Adam. No one. So how? Adam answers, as if knowing exactly what's on Saffron's mind. They managed to catch me off guard before stabbing me with my own fucking knife. Then they got in their car and sped off. Another grunt. Then under his breath. I'm going to fucking kill them. Saffron rubs the bridge of his nose as the elevator dings and the doors open, signaling they reached the lobby. The young blonde stepped out without a moment's hesitation, and any chance Saffron had for inviting him out for dinner is now ruined. He really hoped today was the day. But until they take care of you, he'll need to take a rain check. All right, I'm coming to pick you up. Stay where you are. Adam doesn't answer, and instead hangs up. A moment later, Saffron gets a text for Adam's coordinates. He's about a mile off from where he dropped him off last. Oh god. How many times have we escaped Adam now? Oh, I think that was one of the endings for part 2 chapter 1, wasn't it? Of us getting the car and leaving, I think, maybe? Saffron pockets his phone and locates the rental car before hopping in and setting off for Adam's location. He better be okay. Hey, we're still at Saffron! Hell yeah! Yesterday, abandoned highway. Saffron finds Adam crouched down near the side of the road, using his turtleneck to soak up the blood pouring from his wound. The same one you left behind. I'm sorry, but him sitting in it just looking straight ahead. It's like picking up your child from school and they know they did something wrong. They messed up and they're just like, I'm now seeing Saffron as like a father figure for him, even though he's the manager. But oh my god. Saffron's hands flex around the steering wheel as Adam hauls himself into the passenger side, wishing they were circling your neck instead, taking the life you tried to steal from Adam. How dare you touch him? How dare you leave him bleeding out? You almost ruined everything. You're lucky Adam didn't die, or you'd face a fate far worse than what Adam could ever give you. Slow, torturous, your body chained to his dissection table, squirming and flailing around, screaming your vocal cords raw in a massive symphony of emotion and terror, quelled only by your following Saffron. Saffron snaps out of his fantasy with stark clarity, startled by how visceral his own emotions are. His hands loosen around the steering wheel and he blinks in a daze. Oh, what an unusual reaction. He's never felt such indescribable hatred, and rarely does he think about using such unnecessary violence, preferring to use tools rather than his bare hands on an individual. Perhaps seeing Adam hurt awoke the parental side of him. Clearly. But he does care about his band members after all. He tucks it away for later to give a proper dissection. I apologize. Could you repeat that? I'm afraid I missed what you said. Adam's jaw ticks as he wipes away the faint sheen of sweat gathering above his brow, but he's far more subdued than usual and his words lacking their usual bite. Did you bring sutures? I'm fucking bleeding out here if you haven't noticed. Saffron tuts as he reaches into the back seat and receives a small white medical kit. He hands it over to Adam. Thanks. A dry response, and one that lacks genuine gratitude. Saffron can't help but smile as Adam pulls out the needle and begins sewing his skin back together. Always with the crass language, this one. But at least he gets to see the real Adam. Most people in their lives will never know the cruel being lurking beneath the modest persona. Never know how many bodies left in Adam's wake that Saffron took the liberty of cleaning up. They'll never experience such pleasure because they never understand it. They'd call him a monster, drag him into the electric chair for their version of justice, despite the fact that Adam stands for the very same thing they do, working to eliminate the sinners posed as saints. He just doesn't mind having a little fun before snuffing out their miserable existence. And no one will ever find out. Not unless Saffron starts the car. Not unless you reveal their secret. No. Everything will turn out fine. He shouldn't think about the worst case scenario. And besides, you're just one measly little piece of livestock who managed to escape the packing plant. You operate the same as most people. You'll slip up at some point, because you're in a panic state, and those who let their feelings overwhelm them tend to make plenty of mistakes that both he and Adam can take advantage of. There's just one small thing nagging at him. Adam almost always executed his plan with flawless precision. So what did you do in order to catch him off guard? Adam won't answer outright. He's sure it's something Saffron himself will have to piece together. Not that he doesn't mind a good puzzle from time to time. It keeps him sharp. Stop, Adam says, pausing mid-stitch to look at Saffron. I can tell what you're thinking. Just leave it alone. I have no idea what you're referring to. You know exactly what I mean. Is there a reason you're so desperate to hide it? Is there a reason you're being so annoyingly persistent about it? Saffron sighs, reining in his frustration. Getting mad at Adam won't help, and it will farther him from his goal. He tries again. I understand your discomfort, but I wouldn't if it weren't so important. Someone got the upper hand on you. What if they managed to do it a second time? What if they kill you or worse? I can't let that happen, Adam. I won't allow it. Adam's quiet for a moment, and while Saffron's eyes skirt over to see what's causing such a long pause, he catches the other man touching his lips while wearing a slight frown on his face. Oh, yeah! Did we kiss him in the last part? You gotta forgive me, it's been a hot minute. Saffron noticed for the first time they're swollen. It won't happen, Adam says at last. His fingertips trail from the lips to the ever-present earring. It glints under the glow of the sunlight, as if even God approves of whatever decision he's come to. It won't happen because I won't let it. Saffron withholds a shudder as Adam's gaze cuts over to him. Not out of fear, but out of delight of a hunt that will end in a satisfying conclusion for the both of them. Because if anything, Adam's just as hungry of a monster as he is. Oh. Daddy Saffron's not happy. Daddy Saffron is really not happy. Briar's Bar and Grill earlier. Alright, so we're back at the grill. Saffron trusts Adam's decision to redeem himself. From the way Adam spoke, whatever you did to him was unforgivable, and Saffron knows it's not just because you stabbed him. No, it's something much deeper. More complicated. Like you somehow shook the foundation of his being. How you did it, Saffron doesn't know, but either way, Adam will eliminate you without mercy. Because on the off chance he doesn't, Saffron's eyes flicker to the glove compartment box. He reaches over and pops it open, revealing a hidden revolver nestling between slips of paperwork and traces the cylinder with great affection. His gaze returning to the bar where you disappeared into. Adam gets 10 minutes to redeem himself once we get back to the trailer park. Saffron's promises himself as you exit the building in a rush. He closes the glove compartment and tightens his grip around the steering wheel. Otherwise, I go in. Him! Well, we're at Adam now! Ruth's trailer earlier. Oh, there he is. Adam hovers above the collapsed form of your aunt. Oh yeah, he was holding our aunt hostage to get us to come. Shards of glass lay scattered around her body like a broken teeth. Blood splattered across their surface in cruel arches. He nudges her limp wrist with the toe of his boot, having questioned, throughout Hall, her incessant begging and pleading, how much more pathetic this woman could get. Turns out quite a lot. I told you not to run. Now look at you. You've gone and made a mess of things. Ruth doesn't respond, not that Adam expects her to. She hit her head pretty hard on the corner of the kitchen table when she tripped over her own 2 feet in her haste to get away. He'd hoped to pry information out of her once he finished you off. Things only she might know. Things that could lead him to achieving his ultimate goal and the promise he made to her. But of course not. Because no one in your family could listen for 5 fucking seconds. Adam sighs, scrubbing a tired hand through his hair as he takes in the miserable scene when something in your aunt's grasp captures his attention. When did she... He bends down, keeping a careful distance from your aunt in case she's hiding one of the glass shards in her free hand, waiting for an opportunity to strike that will never come because he's all too familiar with the same tricks from his previous victims. He picks up the photograph beneath her palm. The photo she kept hidden in her drawer. The one she was so desperate to protect. He takes note of the cracks in the glass, fissuring outward, staring at the edge of the frame and slicing through Ruth's younger self, splitting her apart in a twisted sort of irony. His gaze drifts over each of the 5 women until he lands on the one with the wavy brown hair, her shy laughter concealed behind her hand. He almost forgot what it sounded like. Almost forgot the warmth and vibrancy after all these years. He could hear it now. Adam swallows hard and flips the frame over, undoing the back, letting the foam board fall to the ground with a dull thump before pulling out the picture itself. He peers over the newly freed photo, sparing another glance at your aunt. His expression hardens with hatred. She looks a little more like her younger self like this, her hair loose from the scruffle, her arms spread like angel wings. But nothing about this woman is angelic. "I'll be taking this," Adam says before stuffing the picture into his wallet for safekeeping. If he can't get any information out of her, he reasons he'll just try using the other resources like this photo instead. Maybe even you might know something, considering your connection to Ruth. Some secret she could have spilled without you realizing their significance. "Don't take back." Adam catches the sound of a small, desperate whisper. He peers down at your Aunt Ruth and cocks his head to the side, almost mocking. "Oh, are you still alive?" She doesn't say anything, but he notices a flicker of movement from her hand. The same one he took the photo from. Huh. Stubborn and resilient. Just like you. Well, at least he can still glean answers from her and put an end to her miserable existence in the worst way possible, when he deems fit. He knows just the perfect ending for a woman like her. Adam lowers himself again as she makes a croaking sound, unable to distinguish what she's trying to convey. She's just garbling nonsense at this point. But he has all the time in the world. So he'll play along the same way he did with you on that highway. He enjoys toying with his food as much as the next serial killer. "What's wrong?" Adam asked with mock concern, his tone sugary sweet with a bitter aftertaste. "What? You want your little picture back?" He waves the empty frame around before tossing the empty fixture toward her. The frame lands right beside her immobile arm. Her fingers twitch in response. Adam's voice dips, lowering with malice. "Do you really think you'll need that where you're going?" She doesn't respond, leaving Adam to wonder if she passed out again or died on him. Adam scoffs. "You know, you're really shit at holding a conversation." Again, he gets nothing out of her. How disappointing. Adam's burner phone buzzes and he glances at the message sent by Saffron. They're almost here. Adam smirks and pockets his phone, his body humming with anticipation. "Showtime," he says, and tries heading for the door when he feels a hand dart out and wrap around his ankle, the grip weak but persistent, nails digging into the fabric of his jeans. "Give it back." Adam pauses, staring down at her hand, invading his fucking personal space, taking in her poor attempt at stopping him with cold detachment. "And if I don't, you'll what? Kill me?" He reaches down, detaches her fingers one by one, focusing on uncurling them before he gives in to his primal urge. He wants to wring her neck, to twist and snap her bones, watching as the life drains out of her. He wants her to suffer just as much as she did. This bitch is the entire reason he can't fucking stand liars. "Adam, I don't know if you remember me." Of course he does. After all, how could he fucking forget? Adam? Flashback! Flashback! The boy's a kid! The boy's a kid. Oh my god, that's a weird statement. But a flashback of him as a little kid. Screaming. Screaming. So much screaming. He covers his ears, closes his eyes, and tries to escape through his mind and thoughts, but they're all twisted together like a hastily wrapped ball of yarn. There's a thump, followed by a crash somewhere upstairs, probably in the kitchen. Why? Because it's always a stupid kitchen. The angry cacophony of curses and shouts that reverberates through the closed bathroom door where Adam hides. He didn't want to stay downstairs in his room, not when things are like this. He's afraid to get pulled into the fray. You keep making a fucking fool out of me. Another crash, the sound of glass breaking. Adam ducks his head as if words are physical objects that are easily hurled, and someone just chucked them at his face. Stop it. Just stop it. He shakes his head as tears stream down his face, his cheeks. Please just stop. But it keeps going and going, getting worse and worse, making him sob harder and harder to the point that he's afraid someone will overhear. He can't get caught crying again. Not after last time. He can still remember the acrid scent of cigarette smoke and the suffocating darkness of the shed, his palms flat against the rotting floor as he waited with his head bowed. No, he's learned his lesson too many times to count. So he curls in on himself, trying to control his breathing and stifle the sound of his anguish with his trembling hands. You look so much like your father. Adam still remembers the cruel expression on the woman's face as she said that. The muffled giggles and concealed laughter that followed. The hand on his shoulder tightening at the comment, drawing him away from the open stairs and into one of the empty seats. I can't believe I didn't see it before. You look so much like him. He wanted to scream, to deny anything that linked them together. I'm not him. I'm not him. I'm not him. I'm not. I'll never forgive you. The guttural scream makes him jump, then tremble in fear. He hates this. Hates that woman for causing it. Why? Why did Miss Aspen say that? And why did it cause all this? He can't comprehend the meaning behind any of it, and doesn't know if he ever will. He remains there for what feels like hours, arms and legs going numb from being stuck in the same position so long, terrified of making any noise that draws attention. Then everything just stops. An uneasy quiet fills the house, and Adam shivers. He wiggles his toes, trying again to regain feeling in them, listening out for the chaos to pick up again. It doesn't. And that's much, much worse. Feet shuffle up the staircase, and Adam squeezes his eyes closed. I'm not here. I'm not here. I'm not here. The door to his bathroom slams open, and Adam jerks upright as the lights flare to life. His bottom lip trembles as he looks at the door. Adam? Wait, did his mom survive? Did his mom survive? And went to get... Oh. Very abusive situation. It sounded like his dad was beating up his mom. And other people had compared him to his dad, and he didn't like that. I'm thinking. Alright. Back at Ruth's trailer. Current time! Adam gets thrust back into the present at the sight of the woman at his feet, making his lips curl in disgust. She repeats herself. Adam, no. He's never forgotten her. Not even for a moment. He lifts Ruth by her wrist, dangling her in the air so that they're face to face, their noses almost touching while she hangs there limp. Are you really in a position to make demands? Because from where I'm standing, I think you should shut the fuck up and wait until I'm done with that nasty little relative of yours. But sure, keep testing my fucking patience. See where it gets you. Glad we see eye to eye. Adam lowers her, but keeps a hold of her wrist to keep her filthy, blood-stained hands off him. He's gonna need a blistering hot shower after this. Where's your touch ignites deep-seated want. Hers feels like 1,000 maggots crawling all over his skin, burying their way into his insides and eating away at his entrails. He'll hold on to this disgust while dealing with you, because he can't let you get close again. He won't let you. Oh, yeah! Okay. I just remembered, in the very first part, we did kiss him at one point. We stabbed him. So I think that was where Saffron had picked him up and he was bloody? Maybe? That part? Because I'm guessing we didn't actually get to Roos in the last part. It's been a minute. Please forgive me. Oh gosh. Yeah, he feels want when he's around us, but he wants to kill us for it. Adam composes himself when the light floods through this shattered window of the small, darkened trailer. He watches as your car pull up, followed by Saffron's reefer truck. He must have brought it in preparation for the massacre that's about to happen. Yeah, they gonna try to murder us. Okay, how are we gonna get out of this one is my question. Despite this, Adam can already hear Saffron complaining about the fact you'll take up room. Your body's filling up space in his precious freezer. Unwanted unless he gets desperate. Saffron's a choosy fucker. An irony not lost on Adam considering the man's diet. The flower boy will live another day. Oh, he knows he's hunting the gardener. For now. Adam hears the crunch of your sneakers over the gravel, followed by a knock at the door. He reaches for the abundance of chains, taking his time undoing each one to send your heart thumping and your mind racing. He can almost feel your trepidation leaking through the door. You're scared, aren't you? Click. Well, you should be. Click. Because he's been waiting. Click. Click. You! Oh, yes! It's our turn. Roof's trailer, current time. I've finally found you, my elusive little pest. He is so pretty, though. I know he wants to murder us, but look at this artwork. It is freaking gorgeous. Adam. Your mouth goes dry at the sight of the purple-haired demon in the flesh. And how does he greet you? With a fucking knife. You try looking down at the aforementioned knife without moving your neck. Otherwise, you'll impale yourself like a shish kebab and notice it's covered in dried blood. Did he seriously not, at the very least, clean that thing? And who does it belong to? You? Or someone else? Your eyes wander over to your aunt, who lays motionless on the ground a few feet away from where you crash-landed after Adam jump-scared you. It's yours, he says, reading your mind. Your aunt did that with no real effort on my part. Right. He's actually right. Because she tripped and smashed her head, so... And he's also just a hurt, misunderstood soul who just needs lots of hugs and unconditional love to fix all of his baggage and deep-seated issues. Because, if you've learned anything, a smooch a day keeps the serial killers at bay. Okay, sarcasm aside, the last part's a little bit true. Kissing the killer ultimately did save your life when you were neck-deep in trouble, and helped you avoid getting skewered. But even so, you're not buying his bull. The man lies as easily as he breathes. He's a repeat offender, considering none of his general audience knows he murders people for shits and giggles. Or at least that's what you assume. It's either that, or for a power trip. Quite possibly both, considering how Adam's personality flip-flops between cocky and aggressive. Why else target complete strangers? You contemplate this as you try adjusting the angle of your neck in order to put some much needed space between you and Adam's weapon of choice. Well, that, and to check and see if your aunt's still alive. But Adam pursues you, giving you no wiggle room to work with, and he rewards your efforts by giving you a soft warning prick. Eyes on me. You wince at the stinging sensation before fixing him with a glare. Oh yeah, you forgot about his issues with personal space, considering your bubble popped for the rest of your interactions because you're not getting it back with him around. Your earlier fear goes up into a puff of smoke, annoyance taking over the mantle instead. I'd say go fuck yourself, but after recalling our kiss from yesterday, I doubt you know how. Oh, that is a good burn. We just straight up called him out as a virgin. Oh, that was good. Adam's jaw ticks at the comment. Oh yeah, buddy. Feel the salt in that wound. Oh, sorry. Too soon? You say in mock embarrassment, widening your eyes to establish that you aren't sorry in the slightest, going straight for his weak point in realization since he went after yours. As sucky as Aunt Ruth is, you're not letting her die for your poor decisions. Adam's your burden. You're a cross to bear. You should have killed him when you had the chance, but you didn't. You won't make that mistake again. Not when you're armed with your own weapon tucked into the waistband of your pants. You never learn, do you? Adam says, withdrawing his blade. Right, before it descends on your already wounded shoulder. You screw your eyes shut and turn your head, unable to duck out of the way with Adam boxing you in. You wait for the inevitable pain of the knife tearing through skin and muscle, flashing back to the horrific moment on the highway when you tried contacting emergency services, your body readying itself when... thunk. Nothing comes. Just a condescending chuckle from Adam when you open your eyes to find the knife embedded in the wall right above your shoulder. His eyes glitter with amusement over your reaction. Great. So he's gone from outright stabbing to psychological torture. Exactly what you need. So much bravo, and yet you're still afraid of me. That's good. Adam whispers, his breath warm in your ear as he leans close. You should be. He repositions his knife at the hollow of your throat when he draws back, reaching into his back pocket with his free hand. I've got a few questions for you since your dear aunt couldn't bother to answer them herself. You raise an eyebrow at him. Oh yeah, because an unconscious woman can totally help. Forgive my aunt for her poor manners. I'm sure she's so sorry for that despite all the trauma you put her through. I love how snarky the MC is. It's perfect. It's perfect. Okay. You jolt upon feeling the knife move, a subtle shift that leaves you wondering if you pushed him too far when you feel the steel traveling downward instead. Adam's unamused by your jeering. You're stretching his patience, but for some reason, he's not hurting or killing you. In part, you're relieved, but you're also questioning why. How many times? Adam asks, pushing aside the collar of your shirt with the tip of his knife to reveal a mess of gauze and medical tape underneath. Do I have to remind you what I'm capable of when you already experienced it? Are you really that fucking stupid? Apparently? My clients say it's part of my charm. An odd expression consumes Adam's face at the mention of your clientele, but you blink and it's gone, replaced by the usual scowl whenever you dare open your mouth. He finally pulls out whatever's in his pocket, a thin slip of paper, and unfolds the parchment. He presents you with a picture of your aunt and 4 other women. Now tell me, Do you recognize any woman aside from your aunt? You open your mouth, prepared to fire off another quip, but Adam flips the knife and angles it towards your jugular. You swallow hard. Ah, ah, ah. Adam taps the pitcher against the seam of your lips. I wouldn't do that if I were you. Otherwise, my hand might slip. So I suggest. A cocky little smirk tugs at the corner of his mouth. Really? You choose your words wisely. Damn. You really don't have much of a choice but to comply. Fine then. You'll remain complacent. For now. You take your time studying the photo when something about the woman positioned in the far left of the group, with her petal pink dress and delicate frame, captures your attention. While the rest of the women laugh openly, hers convey a distinct shyness, almost as if she doesn't want the others to notice. Yet, that's not what bothers you. It's the fact that you recognize her. But how? You examine each one of her features, poring over each minute detail in order to figure out where you remember those cupid bow lips and high cheekbones from. She's model pretty, distinguishable within any crowd, much like the rest of her friends. Birds of a feather flock together, you think, and notice how her arms aren't linked with the others. Until the cat comes. Adam wraps a finger along the top of the photo. Tick-tock. You're running out of time. You don't even bother glancing up. Hold your knife kink horses. I'm trying to fucking concentrate. He didn't like that. Then hurry up. The hand containing the photo darts out and grips the back of your neck, forcing your head up to meet his gaze. The sharp press of his blade goes to the underside of your jaw. His legs are wedged between yours, one on either side, his knee pressed against the inside of your thigh as he kneels before you, purple tips of his hair tickling your cheek. Yeah, he's that close. His proximity makes your heart pound, and not in the "oh my god, he's so dreaming" sort of way, but in the "oh god, he's gonna gut you like a fish" sort of way. You weigh your options, deliberating on headbutting him, but decide against it due to the sharp obstacle blocking your way. He's not underestimating you this time. Adam refuses to give you any ample opportunities to take advantage of his weakness. The knife isn't just there as a threat, but as a barrier. You know, I can't see the photograph at this angle, right? You've looked at it long enough. Now tell me. He lowers his head, those pitch black eyes flashing red, his mouth stretching into a snarl. What do you know? You frown as you study the movements of his lips. Then a light clicks on in your head and you start connecting the dots. The high cheekbones. The cupid bow lips. Right down to her wavy hair. Those features are a perfect match for the man right in front of you. You blurt out the words right before you can stop them. Holy shit! Why didn't I realize earlier? You look so much like her. Adam goes absolutely still. His pallor turns chalk white, his expression a mixed cocktail of emotions ranging from angry to haunted to tortured, all in the span of a few minutes. That is his mom. That is his mom. What did you just say? He's shaking so hard you can feel yourself vibrate thanks to the close proximity. The knife disappears from your throat, and you know it's now or never because you won't find a better opening than the one presented to you. You don't know what triggered him, and you don't care. All you know is that your hands are reaching for the kitchen knife at your waist, driven by the instinct to kill him for everything he's done and going to do. Only one of you will walk out of here alive. You'll make sure it's you. Adam's lost in a daze when you bring your arm up in a wide arch, to which Adam dodges a moment too late, the front of his hoodie tearing in the process, blood spraying against the trailer walls. You try going for his black hole of a heart next when Adam springs away from you. In a flash, he's at your aunt's side and the knife spears through the empty air, lodging into the musky carpet flooring as you bring it down. You give the knife a harsh yank before getting to your feet. The picture Adam used to interrogate you with flutters to the floor like a flag being dropped to signal the start of the match. Ding ding! Adam presses the hand to his chest before drawing it away to reveal blood smeared on his palm. I hope that fucking hurt, you asshole, because there's more where that came from. You're practically spitting in his direction, geared up for a fight after all the hell he's put you through for the past 2 days, unrelenting in his pursuit. You're going to give this fucker a taste of his own medicine. Adam's slow to look up. His eyes are narrowed, but to your surprise, he's smiling, teeth bared like he plans on using them to rip you apart. His primal, that smile, like he's been waiting for this moment for his entire life. Like he's been waiting for a reason to finally end this. Cute, Adam says, his voice dipping low as he gives an expert flip of his knife before catching it by the hilt with a trained precision. He points the tip of the blade in your direction. But I promise I'm better. And quick as a whip, he's on you like a beast released from his cage, a snarl ripping from his throat as he tries slashing at your arm, wielding the kitchen knife. You manage to pull back in time to hear the whistle of metal slicing through the air, your knife cradled against your chest as you hit a wall. Adam descends on you. You try your best to keep him at bay, but you're an amateur in comparison to a seasoned practice. A fact that becomes crystal clear within seconds. He forces you to go on the defensive, while he goes full offensive, his attacks jarring and harsh, forcing you to block one after the other in favor of lashing out again. Each blow chips at your already dwindling strength. Your injured shoulder burns from exertion. You can't keep up at this rate. Everything aches, the pain echoing bone deep, causing your movements to become slow and clumsy. You're getting tired, worn down, but Adam is not. If anything, he's invigorated by your struggle to keep up, as if he's soaking up your fear to help fuel his bloodlust. There's a knowing smirk at the corner of his lips. Fucker! He knows you're delaying the inevitable. His endurance will outlast yours, and once you falter, he's going in for the kill like a snake constricting a mouse until its body folds. You both know he's got the advantage here. The odds are stacked against you. They were right from the beginning when you made the mistake of pulling over. There's got to be a way out of this. You grit your teeth, sweat dripping down your brow and along the curve of your spine as you try to fight back. Try to find an opening. You won't find one, Adam taunts, guessing your train of thought yet again. Why don't you just give in to me? We both know you won't last much longer. He substains his point with another rough jab of his blade. Your teeth rattle from the impact and you almost lose your grip on your knife, but you manage to remain firm. We're going toe-to-toe with him in a knife fight. And a small-ass trailer, too. If anything, you're stubborn. A trait he couldn't beat out of you even if he tried. Oh, come on now, you say with a huff. Now you're making the sex jokes way too easy. You gasp as the knife comes down harder than ever before in retaliation to your obvious jab, the steel pinging with his furious blows. Is that really all you fucking think about? Adam says, clearly seething. Oh, he is cranky now. A fact you take pure delight in, if he didn't say what he says next. Considering how you kissed me, and after finding out that online job of yours, your entire body goes cold. How the fuck do you know about my job? You wear a mask to conceal your identity. Not out of shame, but for privacy reasons. Whoa, hang on. Do we do online videos? Has that been revealed before? I don't remember that. We do online videos? How does he know what you do for a living? No, you guess you shouldn't be surprised. He's a stalker after all. And you don't doubt he's dug into your background, probably at some point after you give him the slip. I have a better question. You let out a yelp as he manages to grab a hold of your wrist while you're processing this new information. You lose your grip on your knife and Adam kicks it away, shoving your one method of defense somewhere behind him with a scuffed boot before pinning your arm over your head. You raise your other arm to fight him off, but he grabs that one just as easily. It joins the first, both now pinned under his grasp. You lift your leg up to kick him, but he uses his body to restrain yours, your hips perfectly aligned. Boy, do you see what position you have us in? The knife returns to your throat and you stop struggling. Great. Back to square one. Tell me something. Adam peers down at you with a harsh sense of judgment. Why the fuck did you kiss me back on that highway? Why was that your first instinct? Is it because your fixation on sex? You could have fought me, gone for my eyes, punched me, anything, but shoving your tongue down my throat. So why? Why did you fucking do it? You bark out a harsh laugh devoid of humor. That's what he's focusing on? This, right now, of all things. But you're starting to piece everything together. You guess that accounts for something. For someone who's accused me of thinking about sex all the time, that question is pretty hypocritical. I'm starting to think it's you who's obsessed with sex, and now you're just projecting. It would explain a lot. What? Hang on. Back up. What? You say with mock concern as his mouth twists into a scowl. Are you frustrated because you can't stop thinking about it? Thinking about me? Is that why you get upset whenever I bring the topic up? Because you want me? The air goes thick, heavy with unspoken tension as your words hang there in between you two. You hear the pitter-patter of rain against the trailer roof, the rest of the world going quiet as in anticipating Adam's response, wondering what he'll do next. Whatever it is, you're ready. Aunt Ruth? Okay, we're switching to Ruth's point of view. I wasn't expecting that one. Dude, we had a full-out knife fight with him, and now we're like, oh, you can't stop thinking about me. Maybe that'll stop him from killing us right away. Okay. So, Ruth's not dead yet, apparently. Ruth's trailer, current time. Ruth's mind fractures, spits apart, and then reassembles once again before the cycle repeats. She hears a muffled argument, her ears stuffed with what feels like cotton, unable to decipher the strings of conversation or figure out whose voice belongs to who. Glass cuts into Ruth's cheeks, arms, and legs. Hurts. Everything hurts. She's disoriented, unable to remember how she got acquainted with the floor. What Ruth does remember, and the only thing she can seem to remember, is a man taunting her with the face of the woman she once cared for. With the face of her first love. Whoa! Ruth is gay! She was in love... Oh, was she in love with, his mom? How cruel. Ruth reaches for the only photo she has of her first love. Because if she's gonna die, she's gonna want to die by her side. That's all she can ask for. Her hands fumble over the shards of glass, but finds the space beside her empty. Then another memory clicks into place. Adam taking her away. Adam shoving the photo into his pocket, mocking her feeble attempts to get her back. Adam, the hellspawn birthed from the hips of an angel. A monster in the making, just like that bastard, the one who took what she couldn't have, telling her that her love was a sin, that it was vile, and she wanted to prove him wrong. Wrong, 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 and now she's gone. These men keep taking her love away from her. Adam and that bastard both. Ruth sees on the ground, her fist clenching when she sees something glittering from an armrest away. Like a present. Like a gift from God. Ruth reaches out and wraps her finger around the handle of the forgotten kitchen knife. Oh. Okay, now we're back to Adam. Is that why you get upset whenever I bring the topic up? Because you want me? The words hit Adam like a freight train. As soon as they pour out of your mouth, a violent clash of flesh and metal, his head spinning on impact. What the fuck are you implying? Denial surfaces in his brain, something most people do upon confrontation, and Adam's no different. You're wrong. He doesn't want you. He'll never want you. But Adam knows he's lying to himself because of the excuses he makes just to touch you, reasoning that he's only using his body to trap you, and not because he wants to get close enough to feel your body heat. To feel you. Oh, he blushing. He blushing. He is so in denial. Yeah. He wants you. God, he wants you. His dream self admitted as much, and the thought disturbed him. It makes him sick having these feelings. He needs to kill you, and yet he's acting like a kitten seeking warmth for the first time. You're flushed against him, your body without a centimeter of space between them, and all he wants to do is lift you up and... No. Adam crushes the thought without mercy. Whatever he's feeling, this blatant and unwelcome desire, he can't give into this particular sin. He made a promise. He vowed never to give in. You're a temptation. One he's desperate to overcome. You're the hardest obstacle he's ever faced. Many would say the devil put in his path to lead him astray. But Adam wonders if regular people are the real devils. He's almost certain you are. His own little devil meant to seduce him away from his original purpose. But he won't. He can't. You break the silence, your voice alluring as the sirens to a ship captain. Why are you so quiet? Not even gonna deny it? You raise a brow at him and his lack of rebuttal like you can read his thoughts and see the war raging behind his eyes. His lips curl into a snarl. Don't you do that. Don't you fucking dare look at him like that, like you got him figured out. Adam presses the knife deeper into your skin, and it's almost cutting into your neck, and you wince despite the fact he purposely didn't break skin. One more push, though, and there'll be blood. Plenty of it. Your chest heaves against his in response to the unspoken threat. He's breathing heavier, too. He's convinced himself it's because you're afraid and that he loves your fear. And that's why he's breathing so fucking hard and not because of the friction of your chest against his. His lust for blood always outweighs his attraction towards other people. So why shouldn't it work now? Answering one question with another. How very like you. I seem to recall a certain someone whimpering against my mouth, unable to restrain himself. Are you telling me that was a different serial killer? I wouldn't be surprised considering you kissed me. A complete stranger. Nasty habit you got there. Kissing dangerous men. Do you do that often? If so, maybe I should cut it out of you. Starting from here. He taps your chin with the tip of his blade before guiding it down your front, shifting his body to allow the knife to glide towards the top of your navel, as if he's tracing lines on a map. To here. As your expression hardens, he smirks and realigns your bodies, returning the curve of his blade to your throat. How does that sound? I'll gut you properly, so the pain will only be a little agonizing. We can take it nice and slow. You raise an eyebrow at Adam. Okay, now it just sounds like you're trying to flirt with me, and it's getting a little sad. Sorry, Adam, but you're not my type. I like men who don't stab me upon first meeting. It's called having standards. Adam's lips curl into a snarl. If that's how you see this, then you're delusional. His nails dig at your wrist, and you bite your lip to keep from crying out. He ignores the way his body throbs. How do you keep forgetting? I almost killed you the last time, and I'm capable of far worse, because I've done worse. Make that of what you will, but there's nothing about you that will keep you safe from me. You're deluding yourself into the narrative that you've built based on one experience. Then say it. Or better yet, go through with it. You challenge, not backing down. Because as far as I can tell, you've had plenty of opportunities to torture the answers you want out of me, and yet you haven't even cut me once. Why is that, Adam? You stabbed me as soon as you got the chance when we first met, so why aren't you doing it now? Why are there only threats and none of your previous violence? Whew, yeah, we calling him out. You know what? I've noticed there hasn't been one decision so far in this, like multiple choice. There hasn't been one so far in this chapter. Which, isn't necessarily a bad thing. Because, it's got a story it wants to tell us, but I'm surprised. We had quite a few in the last couple. Okay. You gesture over to your aunt with your chin. You did it to her, so now why not me? Come on, Adam. Tick-tock. You quote him from earlier. Adam's gaze narrows. He spoilt you way too much by not following through with his threats. He'll have to change that. Are you sure you're in any position to push me? Do you think I'm not capable of hurting you anymore? That I can't kill you once I get what I want out of you because I beg to differ. He presses his forehead against yours, forcing you to look into his eyes to see his resolve and burning hatred for what you awoke in him. Then beg. You say with zero hesitation, lifting your chin, holding his gaze like you're his equal. Because even with this, your eyes go up to gesture towards your foreheads before locking onto Adam's face once more. You're just finding excuses to touch me. I know what attraction looks like, Adam. I've seen it with my clients. Seen it in my everyday life of what happens when a man wants someone. And you match the entire fucking definition. Why are you so afraid to admit it? Scared I'll use it against you just like last time? Afraid you'll like it too much. Your body shifts against his, and Adam withholds a groan, grinding his teeth to cover up with the wince that follows. Too late. He sees you've already caught on. He needs to prove you wrong. That your body isn't his ultimate weakness. And he's not someone pathetic enough to be controlled by sexual desires. That he's not your clients. That he's not like any of them. And he'll show all of you here and now. Adam withdraws his blade and raises it high over his head and says, "Wrong move," before bringing the knife down. Really? Really? We stopped there. We're going to Saffron. Saffron's probably in there going, dang, how long does it take this boy to kill someone? Okay, we're at Saffron now. Outside in the van at the current time. He counts down the minutes ticking by. 5, then 4, then 3. At 2, Saffron pulls out the gun and loads 3 bullets into the chamber. He glances up at the trailer he's parked in front of. 1 more minute, and he's going in. He's like, okay, listen, I am going in if he doesn't get this done time now. Okay, I think that said you, right? So we're back to us. Ruth's trailer, current time. Adam's knife comes down, and you brace yourself for the familiar sensation of steel tearing through flesh and bone, knowing the futility of fighting, but trying anyway. You thought you had Adam pegged, that you had him all figured out. You thought you understood why he hesitated, but you didn't. And now you're going to pay the ultimate price. And there's nothing you can do to stop it. Chest puffed. Stay strong. You grab onto your old friend's face like a lifeline, keeping your gaze locked with Adam's in one final act of defiance, wheeling the hatred in your eyes to haunt him for the rest of his days. It was you who couldn't escape him in life, but in death you're determined to return the favor tenfold. You curse him until the day he dies. You don't even bother to keep track of the blade as it plummets towards your chest, in an act of sheer stubborn willpower, refusing to show any signs of weakness. At least, even through all this, you can take consolation in the fact that he was never able to break you. That you maintain some sort of dignity even in the end. You clench your fist. You jut out your chest. And you hold your head up high like you're above this. Above him. Adam notices a subtle change in your demeanor, his eyes widening in surprise as though he expected you to crack and start begging for mercy. The knife comes down and stops. Right above your heart. Adam's breathing hard and his hands shaking with visible frustration, unable to tear himself away from your captive gaze. We broke the serial killer. He can't kill us. We broke him. He tries again. Adam raises his arm, brings the knife down, and the invisible chain that stopped him the first time around stops him yet again. Something holding him back. Something giving him pause as he fights tooth and nail to deliver onto his promise. Adam's gaze flickers down to his traitor's hands, the same one that refuses to give in to his commands before returning to look at you. Adam's jaw clenches, his molars grinding. You're surprised he doesn't chip a tooth in the process. Damn it! Adam hurls the knife away, the steel embedding itself perfectly into the wall parallel to where he threw it. God damn you! God damn you! Oh! Adam's hand encircles your throat and he slams you into the wall. That's a lovely artwork there, though. Hey, buddy. We got you upset. Looks like he's crying and blushing at the same time. Buddy. You clawed his fingers, his arms, his chest. You're losing oxygen fast. Your vision turns black at the corners. Spots dip in and out of your peripheral like glittering stars. You can feel him shaking again, this time for an entirely different reason. You can feel how desperate he is to kill you, to escape the humiliation of his attraction towards you. He's acting like a wild animal, trapped and afraid. Tears prick at the corner of his eyes, and you witness something genuine and raw rise to the surface. Vulnerability. Why the fuck did you have to appear? Why? Are you here to torture me? To fuck with me? To break me? His voice cracks and fissures as his hands tighten and constrict. War rampaging behind those darkened eyes. He's battling the deep-seated truth of your words. I don't want to feel like this. I don't want to feel any of this. I need it to stop. I need you to stop. I'm begging you to just stop. Why couldn't you have done like everyone else? Why did you have to kiss me? His hands give one last squeeze and they're gone. You take in a much-needed lungful of air, coughing and sputtering as you collapse against the wall. You're trying to catch your breath when Adam's face grows nearer. What is he? The question dies in your throat as soon as you see the intent behind Adam's eyes. His lips parted as his warm breath brushes against your skin. His expression tortured as though he knows what he's about to do will ruin him. You hear a scraping sound coming from above. His nails. They're clawing their way down the wall in a last feeble attempt to restrain himself from giving in. I hate that I want you. His voice is barely above a whisper before his mouth descends upon yours. He's kissing us! He's gave in to kiss us! Your head spins from his quick and sudden transition, and you don't even have time to shove him away, his lips almost brushing yours, but not quite when... Give her back. Oh, the ant. Someone roars from behind Adam, and all of a sudden his body jerks forward, his back bending at the impact of an unseen blow as something slams into him. There's a sickening, wet thump followed by a gross squelching sound. Adam grunts through clenched teeth. Give her back! Give her back! Give her back! Another thump follows the first before Adam growls and sweeps his arm out, sending the person behind him, your Aunt Ruth, flying across the room. She collides with the wall before slumping to the floor. Ruth blinks, momentarily stunned. In her hand, she wields a knife drenched in crimson, the same one Adam kicked away moments before. When Adam turns your back to you, focusing all of his attention on your aunt, you spot 2 fresh wounds near Adam's shoulder blades and near identical slits. Oh, she stabbed him in the back twice. They remind you what's left behind when a fallen angel gets stripped of their wings. Adam sways like a drunken man. He braces his hand against the wall, nails torn and bleeding from where he clawed at it earlier to keep himself from kissing you. Right. He almost kissed you. Oh, he was so close to kissing us, and she stabbed him. Okay. Voluntarily. Looks like your blossoming theory was right on the money. Not that something to celebrate. You'd rather your milkshakes not bring all the serial killers to the yard? Okay, that was a good line. You'd rather your milkshakes not bring all the serial killers to the yard? My milkshakes bring all the all the boys to the yard, isn't that right? Oh, God. Okay. Least of all, Adam. You shake your head to clear your mind. Nope. Nope, nope. Maybe someday you can unpack this shit in therapy when you can, afford it, to figure out why your milkshakes bring all the serial killers to the yard. But for right now, you've gotten bigger fish to fry. Namely, the aforementioned serial killer who looks like he's ready to pounce on your Aunt Ruth and strangle her to death. Or worse. I should have killed you when I fucking had the chance. Adam rafts, stumbling towards her with uneven steps. Your aunt gets to her feet, grasping for the counter for support, and you freeze upon seeing the unabashed rays pulsating off her in thick waves. She directs everything she has at Adam, all of her ugliest emotions laid bare. You've never related to her more. Ruth's lips peel back into a snarl, her lips stained red as though she applied too much makeup. The storm rampaging behind her eyes, overshadowing the monsoon going on outside. She looks unstable, insane, broken. She spits her vitriol at Adam, her words containing venom that poisons each syllable. I'll kill you. I'll kill you. I'll kill you for everything you've done, you sick, twisted little bastard. How dare you? How dare you wear her face and do this to me? How dare you taunt me this way? How dare you? Tears fall from her hardened eyes, but she scrubs them away with a rough jerk of her wrist. I'll end this. I'll end you. Adam staggers again, but he gives a low chuckle devoid of humor as he rips the knife from where it juts out of the wall. His own hatred rivals your aunt's. Funny, he says, using the sleeve of his hoodie to wipe your crusted blood off his knife in one quick slice. Because a long time ago, you told me I looked just like him. Was that another one of your fucking lies? Or did you know what would happen if you said something like that? Ruth bows her head. Well, did you? Come on, Miss Aspen. Tell the truth for once in your fucking miserable life. Your fault. Adam tilts his head in an animalistic way of his, a hunter listening for prey out in the long stalks of grass. What was that? Speak the fuck up. I can't hear. It's your fault she's gone. Your aunt screams in a raw outburst of emotion, glass shards digging into her heel as she gives an angry stomp of her foot. You recoil at the sheer volume. What's going on? They're almost acting as if they know each other from somewhere. Like they have some sort of shared past together. They do. This isn't just about Adam breaking into her trailer and attacking her, but rather another matter entirely. Something that caused your Aunt Ruth to dive into the depths of madness and come out swinging. It's like they have an unresolved grudge from before you ever entered the picture. Wait. The picture Adam showed you before. Ruth and that woman looks like Adam were both in it. Did something happen between them? Ding, 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 ding. We are right. Your mind swirls with the possibility of what this means as Ruth continues. You're the reason she endured everything she did. It was all for you, and yet you killed her. Your entire existence destroyed her. I told her, Aunt Ruth says between frantic gasps, nearly sobbing. I told her she shouldn't have gone through with the pregnancy, but she wouldn't listen. Ruth clutches her chest as if preparing herself to tear out her own heart in order to spare herself from the painful burden of the memory she's uprooting. Okay, quick pause while I get a drink, but I like how the descriptive this is, but I swear these sentences are very, very long. It's hard to pace yourself when the sentences are very long so you can take a breath. So you gotta have natural pauses in a sentence, okay? Adam remains quiet, but his knuckles turn white. He's gripping the hilt of his knife so hard. Whatever she's saying is affecting him too. What he did to her, you know, that all started because of you, don't you? But she never told you that because she wouldn't want you to blame yourself, but you should have. You watch with mounting horror as Ruth's feet leave behind bloody tracks as she steps over glass, daring to get closer to Adam. He remains eerily silent as she gets in his face and jabs at his chest. And now, she's gone because of you. You took her away. You took her away. You goddamn piece of shit. You took her away again. She's breathing hard as she reaches the end of her crazed rant. Adam's absolutely still. For a moment, no one moves. You're not even sure any of you are breathing. Then there's a lightning strike and the room becomes illuminated in a yellowish glow that shows Adam lifting his head. And all hell breaks loose. Adam's on your aunt in an instant because even while he's wounded, he's fast. He grabs her fingers and you hear the sickening crack of bones breaking like a twig being snapped in two. Your aunt screams and flails, her knife managing to cut into Adam's cheek, but he remains unperturbed and instead disarms her by severing the tendons in her fingers. Dang! She loses the grip on her knife and Adam's other arm darts out, wrapping a hand around her throat. Then he is lifting her into the air. A cold-blooded killer once more. Her legs flail and kick, her wrists thumping against his arms as her feet leave the ground. You scream your aunt's name and searching for something to stop him. You won't let him kill her. You need to act. Now. Oh, hey. Where's the say button? Hey, yo. Okay, we're gonna go to 3. This is our first choice in over an hour. Okay. Distract him or kill him? Let's distract him. You grab a skillet from the kitchen counter in favor of going for the knife currently laying in front of Adam's feet. You aim high and slam the metal against the back of his head. Adam lets out a strangled noise and releases your aunt in the process, sending her tumbling to the floor. Ruth scrambles to get away from him, her attempt to flee halted when her back hits the mattress inside of her bedroom, and her eyes dart towards a small nightstand with a single drawer. Adam cradles the back of his head with a hand and he spins on the heel of his boot. He looks like he's ready to inflict the same punishment he did to Ruth onto you, but then recognition clicks. You can see the conflict in his eyes, the hesitation. But you're already on him, because you don't share the same qualms. You drop the skillet and finally go for the kitchen knife, seeing your opportunity to bring your arm in an upward slice. You cut through his fingers, not enough to sever them, but enough for him to lose his grip on the handle of his own weapon, and you hear the satisfying clang of metal hitting the floor. Man, everybody's getting damaged fingers. He drops to the ground in order to dislodge your second follow-up attack. Adam cradles his wounded hand and looks back up at you, towering over him, knowing full well that you intend to put an end to this. That you intend to put an end to him. You raise your knife in order to deal the final blow while trying to prep yourself for the guilt that probably comes with taking a human life, but knowing it needs to happen when... Oh, Saffron's... Wait, the door didn't open, so Saffron's not in here. So, does that mean Ruth has a gun? Does Ruth have a gun? Is that what this is? Because she was looking in her dresser. There, I had to fix myself. Pain blooms and spreads like poison ivy crawling up the side of the house. You blink in complete and utter confusion. What was that? Just now. You look up from where Adam is crouched and you notice your aunt standing in her bedroom doorway. She's got a gun in her possession with the drawer opened beside her. When she lowers her weapon, you see her face turning ashen, her eyes going wide like saucers, her gnarled fingers trembling. She mouths something you can't quite make out. You blink again. What happened to your hearing? Was it the bang? Did it somehow burst your eardrums? You try raising your arm, but they hang limply at your side, refusing to respond. You notice Adam, staring up at you while on his knees, his own face mirroring Aunt Ruth's horrified expression, which also makes you laugh because you feel a little lightheaded and not quite right for some reason. Wait, did she shoot us? They were just trying to kill each other. Why the sudden pause? Your legs buckle and you almost lose your balance. Oh, that was weird. And damn, why does your side burn? Yep, she shot us. Girl, is your aim that bad, woman? You reach down toward your hip in an effort to seek out the source of your growing pain when you feel the entire side coated in something wet and sticky. From where your fingers drift, there's a small hole torn into the fabric of your shirt. It's small and circular in shape. Almost like... Oh. Just as your brain connects the dots, your other leg gives out and you become weightless as you fall towards the floor. Your body's ecosystem finally registering the bullet's presence. An arm cushions the back of your head before it connects with the ground. Who? Adam caught us! He caught us! Darkness encroaches, but you see Adam's blurry form drift over yours. You'd recognize that damn purple hair anywhere by now. For some reason, he's yelling and shaking you by the shoulders. Hey! Hey! Don't eyes! His voice dips in and out and you can't make head or tails of what he's saying. But you don't really care because right now you feel so tired. Your eyelids are getting heavy with the strain of staying awake. You're so exhausted. So very exhausted. Your eyes begin to shut as you feel the pull of eternal sleep. You begin to let yourself go because in doing so, you feel no stress, or pain, or fear, or any of the ugly things that come with existence. Just blissful silence. Adam calls out to you again, but you don't respond. You let the darkness take you instead. Adam propels himself forward on the instinct and catches you mid-fall. Hey! Hey! Your eyelashes flutter and shit, there's a ton of blood. He tries shaking you to keep you awake, but you're fading, and you're fading fast. The sight of you, so weak and defenseless, agitates him. Where the hell do you think you get off? You survived him, and yet with one bullet to the lower abdomen, it's too much for you to overcome? You're really gonna fold to friendly fire? There's no way in hell you're getting out of this that easily. He's not done with you. Do you get that? He's not done with you yet, god damn it! Don't close your eyes, do you hear me? Don't close your eyes! Your breathing slows, your lower half of your shirt becomes soaked in red. You're not listening to him. You're not listening to him, and your eyes close, and no matter what he does, they refuse to open. Fuck! Adam snarls and rips off his hoodie, tearing at the cotton sleeves in order to help staunch the constant flow of blood cradling your limp body in his arms, while he hopelessly tends to the wound. You're going to die. You're gonna die, and there's nothing he can do. When he closes his eyes, a memory flickers like a candle wick, one of murky red water and the drip of a bathroom sink, and no. He doesn't care if he needs to drag you from the depths of hell, kicking and screaming, so long as you live. He'll bring you back by force if he has to. He's not letting you go. Wake the fuck up. Do you hear me? Wake the fuck... There's a clink of a gun, and Adam feels something metallic get pressed into his temple, cutting him off. His eyes snap over to Ruth, who stands above him, gun in hand with her finger on the trigger, ready to blow his brains out at a moment's notice. She doesn't even bother looking in your direction or separating you two. She's not here to help you. She's here to kill him. The photo, where is it? You got some fucked up priorities with your flesh and blood lying here. She pistol whips him and he grunts. The gun drills into his temple upon return. Where did you take her? This greedy, selfish bitch of a woman. Yeah, she just wants the photo. She doesn't freaking care that her flesh and blood is laying on the ground dead because she can't fire a gun, apparently. Violent thoughts stir in his head. He imagines himself snatching the gun out of her hands, wrapping her hair around in his fist, and he bashes her head into the nearest horizontal surface he can find before he... Ruth pistol whips him again. Harder this time. Adam hisses and glares up at her, frustrated that he can't play out any of his twisted fantasies in reality. At least, not yet. Answer me, you piece of shit. Where did you take her? Where? My back pocket. Check inside my wallet. He's telling the truth to an extent. Her beloved picture is actually probably lying on the ground somewhere, but it's too dark for her to see, her eyes not yet adjusted to the severe lack of lighting. It provides Adam with a fantastic advantage. Ruth takes his words at face value exactly as planned when she reaches for his back pocket in search of her precious photo. He brings his arm up and wrenches Ruth's wrist backwards. Another gunshot going off as Ruth pulls the trigger, this bullet hitting the roof instead of its intended target for a second time in a row. She won't get a third chance. Ruth shrieks as Adam wrenches her hand back, positioning the muzzle of her gun underneath her jaw. Looks like I have the advantage again. He curls his finger over the trigger. Ruth thrashes this way and that, but Adam's stronger than her. Too strong for her to have any hopes of crawling her way out of the mess she made. When that doesn't work, she begins sobbing. What? Does she think he'll let her go if she cries hard enough? That she's someone worth pitying? The idea is so funny, it's almost laughable. She seems to sense his lack of empathy because she becomes bitter in the next instant, cycling through a rainbow of emotion, her shrieks rattling the kitchen cupboards. You don't get it! You don't get it! I loved her! I really loved her! And you took her away from me! You and that bastard both! Adam pushes the muzzle of the gun upward, digging it deeper into her jaw, causing her to finally shut up. He's sick of this woman. I couldn't give less of a shit, Adam says before finally pulling the trigger. Is it out of bullets? Adam blinks. Nothing happens. He tries again. Click. Click. Then the realization hits. The gun's fucking empty. Did she seriously waste all of her bullets? God. Ruth brings her head back and rams her skull against Adam's, forcing him to let go of his grip on both her and the gun. While he's recovering from the blow, Ruth descends on the kitchen knife before raising it high over her head, giving Adam a weird sense of deja vu when you did the same thing moments before, and brings it down right as the front door slams open. Daddy Saffron's here! An arm extends from the entrance and Ruth sways for a moment, staring down at Adam in a silent accusation before crumbling to the ground like a marionette with its strings cut. She lands face first onto the glass shards, a gaping hole just inches above her ear leaking ichor. Adam already knows that she's dead. Shot, not once, but twice. The arm in possession of the gun that killed Ruth disappears before Saffron fully steps into the trailer. His slacks, vest, and button-up clinging to his body due to the rain. Even his hair, usually slicked back for a sense of professionalism, is disheveled. Guys, I've gone through 2 bottles of water, and now I'm out of water again. Dang it, I have to go get more water. But Daddy Saffron stepped in. He stepped in to protect his boy. Oh gosh. He cocks his gun again as he looks at Adam. Adam sees the question sitting at the tip of his tongue. Are you alright? But Saffron knows better. Instead, he gestures towards Ruth's corpse in your unconscious form. What happened here? Adam ignores Saffron in favor of returning to your side, checking for a pulse. There. A heartbeat. It's faint, but it's there. Adam gathers you up and into his arms at the confirmation of your survival, in spite of his injury that throbs in complaint. He turns to Saffron, who quietly observes the whole interaction. There's a faint crease between his brows, his displeasure obvious and tangible. Adam knows of Saffron's prying nature, knows that he's bubbling over with questions, but refrains from asking them because getting a straightforward answer out of Adam is tricky in certain circumstances. But that doesn't mean he approves of what he's seeing. Adam, however, could give 2 shits about what Saffron thinks. Saffron? Adam says, his voice sharp like a command. Saffron looks up at Adam, a bit reluctantly, and he continues. There's a photo lying somewhere on the floor. I want you to grab it alongside Ruth and bring them both to the truck. We're leaving, he says, and brushes past the manager who remains stationed inside the doorway. Adam's almost halfway down the steps, your body becoming drenched from the bulk of the storm, when Saffron's hand claps down on his shoulder. Adam doesn't even bother turning around. Let go. His voice is quiet, deadly. A serpent in the grass hissing at the hungry wolf. A monster bearing his fangs at the other beast who dared challenge it. Just tell me why you're bringing them with us. Saffron says. What do you want with them? Give me one good reason why, and I'll drop the matter entirely. Adam looks down at you, your expression calm and serene in your unconscious state. You look sweet, gentle, innocent. But Adam's well aware you're nothing of the sort. You distracted him from his initial purpose, his ultimate goal, leading him to damn near cave into his sudden desires. And he almost did, didn't he? Why did you kiss him? Or why did you kiss me? Adam shakes his head, disgusted. A stupid, illogical question made on impulse with the heat of your body surging against his. One that cost him greatly because he no longer has Ruth, the singular person connected to his past. Yes, it's unfortunate. He no longer has her, but... Adam? Saffron urges, and Adam gazes down at your unconscious figure, resolute in his decision. He no longer has Ruth, but he still has you. Despite the fact you're a liability, you're his only other option right now, and because of that, he needs you. He's not keeping you around because he wants you. You're simply a necessity. Yes, Adam thinks with growing convention. He needs you, that's all. Adam finally manages to shrug Saffron off. Remember what I told you when we first met? Adam asked, recalling the memory of pink-tinged water spilling over the lip of a bathroom tub, the water sloshing against his torn sneakers as he stood there with mounting horror. Tears streaming down his sore face. Of course. There's a sense of underlying pity in Saffron's tone that Adam loathes, but he refrains from drawing attention to it. Instead, he slowly pivots towards Saffron, the tips of his purple hair whipping around him as a large gust of wind hits the trailer park with sudden ferocity. The cross earring cuts into his cheek. A small punishment from the previous owner, he swore. I need them in order to complete my promise, Adam says at last, his eyes flashing red as he lets the agony from the age-old memory consume him. My promise to her. Oh, is that promise to your mom? Okay, I'm stopping for a second because I need to go get a drink of water very, very badly. I'll be right back, guys. Alright, I'm back with a nice new bottle of water, and we're gonna dive back into this. Wow, like, what would have happened if we picked the other one? Like, this one, we were trying to distract him. What if we went to kill him? Would it still turn the same way? Well, hopefully we're gonna go back and check it out in a bit. But let's see, what happens at Saffron's office? Saffron stares out of the near desolate landscape from his balcony doors, his arms folded behind his back as he relishes in the rare quiet of the sprawling hills. This place exists high up in the mountain, a perfect place to avoid getting caught on camera surveillance. Out here, no one will bother investigating the blood-curdling streams or the growing stench of the woman rotting in the back of his reefer truck. Well, not that she's rotting per se, but she smells absolutely vile. At least to him. But that's probably due to his lack of interest in her. You, on the other hand, smell absolutely delectable, even with your festering shoulder wound at the beginning stages of an infection. He had to stop himself from lunging for you when you lay unconscious in the passenger seat of the truck with Adam tending to your injuries, in an effort to keep you alive. Saffron nearly gave in to the urge of pulling over and devouring you whole. He fantasized about tearing strips of flesh off your bones. He thought about what sauces and seasonings to pair with you. He salivated at the prospect of lopping off just a finger or toe as an appetizer. He came so close to giving in to his ever-present hunger, but refrained due to Adam's insistence that he needs you. Or at least, that's what Adam claims. But Saffron suspects something more. He's never seen Adam get so possessive about a target before, going as far to smack Saffron's hand away when he reaches for you in order to keep the strain off of Adam's wounds. It's like Adam wants you for himself for whatever reason. And Saffron feels disappointed, cheated, because they made a deal. He gets the bodies of the dead and damned after Adam eliminates them. That's the agreement. As a result, Adam doesn't need to worry about the details of getting rid of some pesky evidence or a body, and Saffron can divulge in his own sadistic pleasures without doing any of the dirty work. It's a mutually beneficial transaction. So Adam kills and Saffron eats. No wonder he's mad. He's like, listen, you're depriving me of a meal here. He just wants food. And now Adam's changing the rules of the game and making up mundane excuses as to why Saffron can't have you yet. It's frustrating. Saffron realizes he's gnawing at the skin of his thumb, a nasty habit he really needs to get rid of. and wipes the saliva off with a square piece of tissue paper. The urge to taste you is unbearable. It's borderline torture. Saffron sighs and folds himself into the plush desk chair as an effort to calm himself. He's not mad at Adam, but frustrated with his decisions as of late. Because, like it or not, they're affecting him too. He needed to reschedule everything after the injury Adam sustained during your shared encounter, and now he's unable to hunt the gardener boy because your aunt's gonna take up room in his freezer. He wanted something out of this whole debacle. You were an equally appealing prospect, so he felt satisfied. Now, with neither you nor the gardener boy, he's ravenous. A little speck of your blood is not enough. He needs more. Saffron's hand fans out against his desk, his fingers brushing against something. Hey, kitty. My kitty came to join us. Oh, okay. Hey, buddy. Oh, the picture. His eyes fall on her, and he feels the monster subside in an instant. Remember what I told you when we first met? Adam has said, and Saffron did. And Adam is as sincere now as he was back then. So why is Saffron thinking such ludicrous thoughts? How shameful. Saffron places the picture into his desk drawer and chastises himself for letting himself get so worked up over a piece of meat, putting his own needs above Adam for unjustifiable reasons. Adam does what needs doing. He doesn't complicate matters unless warranted. He should trust Adam. Perhaps. He's imagining things. Yes, that's right. He's just jumped to conclusions. Once Adam's done with you, he's sure the boy will follow through. He's not anchored down by mundane feelings like most people. It'll all work out. But what if it doesn't? A tiny thought argues his inner doubt. What if you're right? Maybe you should take care of them yourself, just in case. No, stop it. Saffron's over here warring with himself. I mean, how small is your freezer truck if you don't have room for the gardener boy, too? You only got one body in there. Surely you have enough room for the gardener, too, right? Saffron swats the thoughts away, waving his hand as though you're a fly buzzing around his head. But he's gnawing on his thumb again. Saffron's pocket buzzes. Someone's calling him. Perhaps the venue management over their sudden cancellation. He looks at the caller ID. His heart skips a beat. Why is he calling? And why now of all times? Did he see something on the news about what took place at the trailer park? Is it about him? About Adam? Calm yourself, Saffron. You won't know until you answer. So Saffron clicks the green button and presses the phone to his ear, putting on his best "everything is great" performance. So nice of you to call. What do I owe the pleasure? So nice of you to call. To what do I owe the pleasure? Saffron exhaled the caller's name. God? God? I have questions. I have questions. Is that like a nickname for somebody? Okay. Is that like a nickname for someone? Because apparently that's got to be like a boss or something. So, we are still alive. And apparently unconscious with a festering shoulder wound now. And I wonder about our side. Is our side festering too? And our aunt is still in the back of a refrigerated truck. Wow, this is going to be interesting going into 4. So, now, chapter 3, sorry. How's it gonna turn with this? Are we gonna have domestic life? Okay, I am going to hop back really quick and see what happens if we choose to kill him. You duck forward and grab the knife because you're not a fucking coward, and your hands wrapping around the base of the handle. Adam's too busy with Ruth to notice, a big mistake on his part. He'll pay for his hubris in the worst way possible. He's forgotten how much of a threat you really are because once you commit to something, you're committed, and you're determined to put this monstrosity of a man 6 feet under. You're going to save your aunt and get the fuck out of here, no matter the cost. You lift the knife and thrust it into Adam's lower back, driving him forward with the force of your body slamming into his. Adam makes a choking sound as you do. Okay, so, we just stabbed him. Aunt Ruth's neck gives a sickening crack and Adam drops her. Oh. Oh, he broke her neck. Oh no. She falls to the ground in a crumpled heap like a blanket lying forgotten next to the bed during the hustle and bustle of someone running late to work. Her neck is bent at an awkward angle. Her eyes are open but devoid of life. No. No, no, no. In your urgency, you foolishly believed you could protect Ruth from Adam, that you could make up for the mistake of bringing him here. But you couldn't. And now she is dead. You let out a blood-curdling scream in part because you feel at fault, while also going mad with rage, causing you to literally see red as you thrust the knife in and out of Adam's body. Oh damn, we going ham. His blood splashes across your cheeks, dappling your arms and coats your clothes. All of the things he's done to you, stalking you, stabbing you, mocking you, holding your aunt hostage, cultivate into the sense of righteousness as you bring the knife down again and again. You fall on top of him as he collapses, your legs going on either side of him, pinning him down. He reaches a shaky arm out. You sink the knife's teeth into it, because he's not getting away from you. No matter what, you're going to kill this fucker, even if it's the last thing you do. Your resolve far superior to his when he gave up the chance to end your life. Your free hand rakes down his back, your nails chewing at the skin of his arm, your nails sinking deep into the muscle. You feel raw, vindicated after all the turmoil he put you through. You made a righteous decision, putting an end to such a dangerous man's life. This is his fault. He should have left you alone. But he didn't, and now he's paying the ultimate price. Tears stream down your face as you plunge the knife into his spine one last time before you withdraw, your hands shaking from both the rush of adrenaline and the sense of looming dread at what you've done. You took a human life. You went above and beyond self-defense, aiming to draw out his agony other than quickly putting an end to his reign of terror. But it's over, isn't it? He is dead, right? Adam? You say his name tentatively, almost like you expect him to get up, dust himself off, and ask you if that's really the best you can do before finishing what he started. You get up, clutching the knife to your chest, searching for signs of life. There are none. Just like Ruth, his eyes are open, but there's no longer a soul behind them. Well, if Adam even possessed a soul to begin with, which you doubt. You try one more time. Adam? Again, he's silent and blood trickles out the corner of his mouth. He's gone. He's really gone. He's no longer a threat to you or anyone else. It's over. It's over! You're half crying, half laughing now, your breath coming out in ragged gasps before transitioning into a barrage of hiccups because you're so overwhelmed. You bury your face into your hands. You're smiling. Finally, you've been released from this nightmare. You're safe now. Or so you think. Yeah, Daddy Saffron is going to be very mad at us, okay? You don't hear the front door open when a harsh voice makes you jump. Adam? Then a little more frantic, the edges fraying with disbelief. Adam! You look to see Saffron leaning against the doorway for support, A hand pressed to his mouth, his brows upturned and drawn together as he processed the devastating scene before him. He's staring at Adam, searching for signs of life but coming up empty. He looks like a parent who just lost his child. Like I said, Daddy Saffron. Like Adam's death just turned Saffron's entire world upside down. He looks as vulnerable as Adam did before he kissed you. A weakness exposed to its fullest extent. Saffron's voices crack. What did you do? He's shaking his head as he goes to Adam's side, turning the other man over, his hands cupping Adam's face like he can bring him back to life by willpower alone. Don't do this to me. Please, don't do this to me. You take this as your opportunity to make a break for it while the serial killer number 2 grieves over his loss. But right as you reach the door, a hand clamps down around your wrist and dragging you kicking and screaming back into the trailer, shutting the door behind him, sealing you inside and away from prying eyes. No one can hear your gut-wrenching cries over the rampaging storm. The only sign of torture you endure is your blood leaking out from beneath the door sill, washed away by the drip drop of rain. Bad end 5, an eye for an eye. Oh, okay. Daddy Saffron very pissed. He killed us and then he probably ate us, judging by the plate right there. Oh. I'm glad the first one we got was actually a continuation one. I feel like we survived for a little bit. Oh my god. Okay, this has been a long chapter, but wow, so much has happened. I hope you guys enjoyed it. What did you guys think of chapter 2? Oh my gosh. So much info dropped. We got a lot of point of views on this one. Oh no, where to do with it? Okay, there we go. We got a lot of point of views in this one, which was interesting. It jumped from us to Adam to Ruth to Saffron and everything. So it was interesting seeing how everybody's day was going, and more insight into Saffron for sure. The boy just wanted his gardener. He just wanted to eat that gardener, boy. Maybe in the next chapter. Oh god, he doesn't want to eat Ruth, so that's why Ruth's body is still like in the thing, because he's like, it tastes so nasty. No. Oh no. Oh god. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Leave a comment down below. What did you think? And I'll see you in the next one. As always, I'm going to be leaving a link down below so you guys can check this out for yourself. Bye!